From architecture to painting and sculpture, literature to live music and theater. Radio 111 presents Bonnie G and Brayan Mendoza with The Desert Scene, your connection to culture and entertainment in the desert cities. Here's Bonnie and Brayan.
And welcome to The Desert Scene. Welcome to The Desert Scene. And Brayan is here with a fabulous new haircut. He's looking very
thank you.
Sleek with a spring dew.
If only this was television.
Yeah.
I was going to say, then it's really short, but it looks pretty good.
It looks great.
Pretty good.
It really does. All right, we are so happy today to welcome our guest. I want to make sure I get this right. Mitchell Mitch, I think he goes by, I don't know if he goes by Mitchell Mitch, we'll ask him, but he's got this interesting neighbors cooking, this online community with food and cooking healthy, and I'm really fascinated by it. Hi, Mitch, how are you?
Hi, how are you? And thank you both for inviting me to come and talk today with you.
Absolutely. So do you go by Mitch or Mitchell?
Either one. Usually if I'm in trouble, it's Mitchell.
Well, you're not in trouble, so we'll go by Mitch.
We'll go with Mitch, all right.
All right. So this whole neighbors cooking thing, so tell us, Chef Mitch, first of all, let's back up. How did you become so involved in healthy food and cooking?
Well, I'll tell you, it was a bit of a journey for me. I originally went to the Cordon Bleu and was trained as a chef back in the early 80s and realized I really couldn't support myself and be a chef and be the chef I wanted, so I had to go into corporate and do my, do the normal stuff. And then as the years went by, I just kind of continued doing it myself, but I was a French-trained cook, so of course I started to put a lot of weight on. And when the pandemic hit, I was responsible for caring for my mother, who was living with me till she passed away a few months ago. And it was, I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't fit in any of my clothes. There was nowhere to go shop for new clothes, so I decided I had to lose some weight. So I sat down through the pandemic and I rewrote all of my recipes to be healthy and to try and build a community of people that could share food and talk about it while we really couldn't be out and enjoying each other's company.
What a great constructive thing to do during the pandemic. I mean, I love hearing that. By the way, my condolences on the loss of your mom. So,
well, I appreciate that, but I brought her to my home to live here intentionally so that she could spend her days out and cook for her. Mm. When I was very ill, I consider myself an AIDS survivor, but I've had it for almost 30 years now, and she was my rock when I was recovering from being so ill from that. She fed me and she made sure I was okay. So when it was her turn, it was time for me to do it.
Oh, that's great. And I'm looking on the info I found on you, and it says, having traveled extensively, I found my love of cooking is very spiritual. So tell us about that. I love that idea. How did you come to feel that way about it?
I've always found that for me, food is the great conqueror of everything. It brings people together. It brings families together. It stops conflicts. Wars have stopped because of food. Food is such an integral part of our lives, and it brings back memories and happiness. And you smell something that's being cooked by your mom or somebody, and you remember something about it. And I really think that food is a hard memory for us. It's something that brings back happiness, or it could bring back sadness too, or a memory of sadness. But, I have, I'm the director of Palm Springs Pride Volunteers, and, I hear a lot of people in my own community saying that, they don't have contact with their families anymore because they've been, kicked out or not cared about anymore, but they still make their mom's meatloaf.
Wow.
Or they still make things that their mom or their family used to make so they can still have those memories. And I think that's really a beautiful thing that, families are difficult and challenging sometimes, but if you can still have those good memories through just food, what a great experience.
Absolutely. So tell us about Neighbors Cooking and how this online community and how that came to be.
Well, when COVID started, at the same time, my mother came to live with me because she was so ill. I couldn't work any longer because I had to be home. There was nowhere to go, and so I just decided I would start filming, every few weeks a show about food and about healthy eating, and just get out there and share it with people and let them have some joy and maybe share some of the recipes back if they experienced making them. And it's turned into, we've had over 300,000 people look at our show now.
Wow.
In the last year, which is pretty spectacular. And it really just started with me writing recipes and sharing my healthy recipes. And then when COVID hit, I decided I'd set up a camera in the kitchen and just start filming some shows.
That's excellent. So where can somebody go to see it?
You can see it on Facebook Live under Neighbors Cooking, also neighborscooking.net.
Okay. And so are you, when you say healthy recipes, do you have some vegan stuff, some vegetarian stuff? Do you mix that up?
I do, actually. I do. I have vegan, I have vegetarian, but most of my recipes that I put up are all under 600 calories and can be made in under 30 minutes.
Wow.
So the goal really was to get people back to, eating healthy, being in the kitchen, and just taking that little bit of time that it takes and trying to share with people ways to better prep your food for the week. My regular thing that I do as a private chef is I prep food for seniors. So people that want to stay in their homes but just can't cook and can't do some of the things that they used to do. So I go in to a number of my clients once a week, and I cook 5 days worth of food and prep it all. And it's all healthy and good for them. So it keeps them healthy in their houses and it gives them somebody to have company with 4 hours a day. And I love it. It's great.
And now I'm looking at the picture of you on the website. It looks like you lost all that weight that you gained because you look very healthy.
I have. Thank you. I have lost about 60 pounds.
Excellent.
I'm back to my high school waist. I'm so happy about it. And I'm 60 years old now, so I'm back to a 30-inch waist, so I can't beat that. I was at the 38-inch waist, so I put a lot of weight on.
Wow.
And, so I decided, like you said, turn something positive out of something so negative, which was COVID. Yeah. And take care of myself, take care of my mom, and just and try to be out there. I couldn't be around my volunteers for Pride because, this last Pride we had a great Pride, but I couldn't be around them just in general. And so I just had to find ways that I could keep being a part of the community and be out there and be part of it and let people see that it's okay. You can keep moving on. You can have some fun. We can still build some community without seeing each other right away.
Yeah. I think Brian has a question for you.
I wanted to ask you, because I know you were talking about how the importance of food within communities and culture. So I wanted to ask you, what does specifically healthy food, how can it benefit a community and a culture? Because I know that a lot of times, like when I think about my culture, because I'm Mexican American, there's a lot of unhealthy food. But how would you say, let's say just in general, what can healthy food do to a culture, even cultures that normalize non-healthy eating, even in that case?
Well, I think that it's really a paradigm shift in how you make food, right? So, for instance, I did a show a year ago for tamales. I had never made tamales. They're not particularly necessarily the healthiest things because they're made with lard. And so I sat down with a friend's mom and I said, let's find a healthier way to make tamales. Let's find a way that we can use it without the lard, that we can have healthy ingredients on the inside, and we can share making them, kind of like a tamalata party, And so she came on the show. She didn't speak much English, but she taught me actually live on the show how to make tamales. But we had spent some time before going through what the recipe looked like and then finding solutions or alternatives to that, but still getting the same flavor profile or a similar flavor profile out of the food. And yet it's healthier and you aren't putting all of that extra weight on. So you can still celebrate your heritage because a lot of food is not healthy food the way we prepare it. It's not so much what the food is, but it's what we do to it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So do you get recipes from other people too that say, hey, I've got this great recipe. You might be interested in this. Is there a back and forth?
I do. I also get people that send me questions or ask me to try and help figure out a recipe. So I've had people send me things and say, my grandma used to make this and this is kind of what it looked like. And through conversations, we're able to come up with something close to what that recipe used to look like for them. And so it helps them recover those recipes also. So I get all kinds of requests like that, or can you show us how to make, or can you tell me how to make this a vegetarian dish, or can you tell me what the difference is for vegan or vegetarian, or, and my grandmother who lives with me is 98 and she's a vegetarian. So I cook for her all the time.
Mm-hmm. Hey, do you? This might be. I don't know if you have one. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a go-to recipe? If you were gonna have people over to your house and it was gonna be a real fun evening, do you have a go-to recipe that's sort of number one?
I do. I like curry. I'm a big curry fan, and because you can do so many different types of curries with a lot of the same similar recipes or pantry items that you have. So, but you can get those different flavor profiles, and it's such a great way to, express a lot of different cultures through curry, because curry comes from all over the world. Right.
And just for fun, what is your favorite all-time film about food? I'm just curious.
He's a film guy.
Yes, I am. I'll if you give me yours, I'll tell you mine. Mine's pretty cliche, but I want to hear what yours is.
My favorite movie with food. That is a tough one. I'm going to have to say that I liked Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman when she was eating breakfast in the suite with Richard Gere.
Okay, we'll take it.
I wouldn't mind being in a suite in Beverly Hills doing that.
Okay.
That's true. For some reason, I thought you were going to say Julia, but I was going to say mine would be Babette's Feast. I love that one.
I've never seen that. I've got to see that.
That one's
I've never seen that either.
That one's a really good one. It's about this woman. It's a period piece. This woman cooks a final meal for her friends when she wins the lottery. And it's like this really delicious looking movie. You just gotta see it.
Lots of food in it. Okay.
A lot of food in it, and heck, even a lot of like Catholic restraint in it. You'll know what I mean when you see it. It's a very deep movie. From
That's
the 80s.
Feast. All right. I think Mitch, you and I are gonna both have to put that on our list to go
We
see.
are. I'm putting that on the list. I'll probably watch that today. It's a good Saturday.
So again, if people want to see the show, they can either go to www.neighborscooking.net or Facebook Live. Correct?
Facebook Live has all of our shows.
Okay.
There's also a YouTube and an Instagram. They're all under Neighbors Cooking.
Yeah.
It's becoming a social nightmare trying to keep track of it all.
Yeah.
So if anyone out there wants to manage my social media, hit me up.
Okay. Well, Mitch, I'm so happy to talk to you. What a great thing that you did during COVID. I mean, we all need to eat healthier, and you're right. Food is kind of universal, brings us together, shows love. Thank you so much. Continued success with this. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys inviting me on the show, and you have a great day and eat something healthy today.
Okay, thanks. You too. All right.
All right.
Thank you,
Take
Mitch.
care.
We'll see you next
Bye-bye.
time on The Desert Scene.